Hej, siemano wam wszystkim ludzie, z tej strony Arturo, witam was na swoim kanale i kontynuujemy Perry'ego Rhodan, Dziedzictwo przeszłości. Moi drodzy, w poprzednim odcinku spotkaliśmy się z przyjaciółką Mondry, czyli z Rhodan, która aktualnie udała się w tamto miejsce, żeby zeskanować, czy dowiedzieć się coś więcej na temat artefaktu. A my mogliśmy swobodnie rozejrzeć się po jej pokoju. Tak naprawdę nie mam zielonego pojęcia, co dalej moglibyśmy zrobić. Poszedłem do informacji, aby umówić się z Rhodan. To najlepsza przyjaciółka Mondry, a z pewnością będzie umiała mi pomóc. Jako asystentka dziekana Akademii ma dostęp do centrum informacyjnego oraz kilka ultraprecyzyjnych skanerów. Może tam będę mógł zbadać tą soczewkę. Dobra, zanim opuszczę to miejsce, to jeszcze dokładnie się tutaj rozejrzę.
Perhaps I can get secure access to my computer from here. Voila! A message from Bully, finally.
Hey, Perry. Why aren't you in residence? I told you to wait for me there. Now I hear you took off. The situation is too unstable.
Is everybody allowed to give me orders, and nobody tells me what's going on? What a day. If Bully's looking for me seriously, he'll find me here.
Dobra, tą wiadomość sobie odczytaliśmy w poprzednim odcinku. Widzę, że nigdzie nie mogę przejść.
It looks very comfortable, but since I haven't been able to see mortal or find out what's going on with Mondrze, I can't sit still.
Tu są jakieś elementy, które nie są klikalne.
Something's telling me I've got to take a look at that exhibition if I want to find Mondrze, but it won't be opening until next month.
Wystawa, którą otwierają dopiero za miesiąc.
The entrance to Dalian's mainframe computer. His office or lab, so to speak. I probably shouldn't just walk in on him, though, because of his psychological instability. I should let Kari inform him of my arrival.
No dobra, w takim razie opuśćmy to miejsce.
I should at least be courteous enough to wait.
Okay, but Dalian is currently working out a new hyperphysical algorithm. He's a bit caught up in it at the moment, and I don't recommend interrupting him while he's concentrating. He'd like to talk to you, but would it be possible for you to come back later?
How much later?
Well, it shouldn't take that long, but I'm afraid he wasn't able to give me a specific time.
Okay, thanks very much, Kari.
Czyli Kari jednak wróciła. No dobra, poczekajcie. Jeszcze na chwilę z nią pójdę porozmawiać.
Hi, Perry.
Hi, Kari.
Roślinne odchody.
Yuck. Much as I love these plants, that's certainly not the reason why.
Instytut Robotyki, Malcolm and Dalian.
How's this supposed to work?
I already guessed you wanted to see Dalian. It's just bad timing right now. He's in a very bad mood, and he's working on some algorithm. Maybe you have a specific concern that might lift his spirits?
Identyfikator osobisty, plan Instytutu Robotyki. I w sumie chyba tak naprawdę nie ma więcej tematów, na które mógłbym z nią porozmawiać. No bo tutaj na biurku raczej nic więcej już nie ma, nie?
What kind of a crystal is that?
Mondrze gave it to me the last time I visited her in her office. I love the singing crystals in front of her door. Oh dear, I just can't believe she's been abducted.
I'm doing everything and anything I can to find her.
Well, take this little crystal with you. Then you'll have something of Mondre's. It might help you somewhere along the way.
Yes. Thank you.
Mondre's my best friend. She trusts you more than anyone else. She said you're the history and the memory of Terra. You're the only one who can protect her.
Okej. Święto kryształ trafił do mojego ekwipunku. No dobra, może mi się to do czegoś przydać. Wydaje mi się, że u Kari zrobiliśmy już wszystko. Ponownie trafiliśmy do holu. Plan jest taki, żeby podejść najpierw do transmitera i przeskanować te elementy, które trafiły do mojego ekwipunku. Kryształ dźwiękowy. Najważniejszym kryształem piezoelektrycznym jest kwarc lub raczej trójkątna struktura kryształu o nazwie kwarcu alfa, która zachowuje stabilność aż do temperatury... O kurde! 573 stopnie Celsjusza. No dobra. Ten brązowy lub czarno-brązowy płyn pochodzi z mięsożernych roślin. Jest znany jako Lecrim tetrapychophili. W suchym lub bardzo gorącym klimacie rośliny tego gatunku wydzielają znaczne ilości tej czerwonej substancji na ruchome łodygi liści z pułapkami. Następnie substancja ulatnia się, stwardniały sok spada na ziemię za sprawą jej ruchów lub wiatru. Rośliny domowe są w stanie produkować znaczne ilości tej substancji, która przypomina z wyglądu zwierzęce odchody. Ten fakt w połączeniu z intensywnym zapachem zaskrabił substancji nazwę nawozem pożeracza ludzi. Lecrim zawiera także znaczne ilości transpasibo, melatotetrzedrolu, który jest często stosowany w medycynie jako środek przeciwbólowy. W różnych dawkach można go także znaleźć w różnych środkach trzeźwiących. O, to jest cenna informacja. Środki trzeźwiące.
Anara working on our developments? Ever since Thora passed away, I've had a deep feeling of mistrust towards these people. It looks as though he hasn't been working in Mortal's Institute very long. Never trust Anara.
Czyli mamy tak, Brendana Hubera i Narkola. Cybernetyk, zewnętrzny pracownik naukowy. Asystent w laboratorium. Jestem ciekaw, który aktualnie znajduje się w Instytucie Robotyki. Czemu mi to nie znika? Czy ja coś tu mogę wybrać?
Hello, Laszlo. How may I help you this time?
I'd like to know who's working for Mortal in the Mobile Android Weapons Systems Department today.
Well, let's see. We have quite a few employees working there, but the only ones who are here today are the R&R Cole and his colleague Brendan Huber. Look, I'll show you the sheet with a list of staff members.
Anara working on our developments? Ever since Thora passed away, I've had a deep feeling of mistrust towards these people. It looks as though he hasn't been working in Mortal's Institute very long. Never trust Anara.
You might be able to find Mr. Huber in the cafeteria.
I understand. Thanks.
Okej, czyli będę mógł się udać na stołówkę. No dobra, my już na stołówce byliśmy i wcześniej nie mogłem z nikim tam porozmawiać. Być może teraz faktycznie będę mógł tam przeprowadzić z kimś jakąś interakcję.
The Warringer Academy is directed by Malcolm Scott Dalian. Since losing most of his body in a serious accident, he spends his days in a coffin-like regeneration tank. He has, however, accepted his fate with true dignity and has dedicated his life entirely to the sciences.
Tylko że tak naprawdę była tu tylko i wyłącznie jedna osoba, do której mogliśmy się zbliżyć. W sumie to dwie. Był to ten kelner, czy tam, no wiecie, ci co obsługują tu przy barze. I ten gościu, który tutaj śpi.
That's actually one of Mortal's assistants, but he doesn't look very approachable.
Man, I'm not feeling very well. Can't you bug someone else?
Czyli to jest ten gościu, którego my szukamy. Ale no niestety jest niedyspozycyjny. Obecnie dla Martela pracuje niejaki Brandon Huber oraz Ara o imieniu Narkol. Jeśli znajdę jednego z nich, to może uda mi się go przekonać, żeby zbadał głowę robota. Gdy już znajdę się w laboratorium, muszę jedynie odszukać tam Martela.
What's that guy been eating?
Oh, I gave him some of our slugofro. I guess it didn't agree with him very well.
No dobra, w jaki sposób się musieli go ocucić? Mamy tutaj odchody roślinne. Chyba nie do końca to działa tak, jak powinno. Głowy robota też nie chcę zbadać, w sensie, no, nawet nie chcę tego skomentować. Boże, jak on chrapie. O, tu się coś świeci.
Welcome. May I offer you something to eat now? How about a speciality from the refined cuisine of the blues?
My buddy over here isn't feeling well. Do you have something that'll get him back on his feet?
I'm sorry, but we don't offer anti-nausea pills. This is a cafeteria. Alternatively, I can offer you Aloque Alpha Centauri Aquaterra Argaz's Milk Azul Athlane Ava Aya Axa Bird Champ Bula Tea Blossom Tea Blubbeluch Brumith Juice Cafe Latte Cafe Mocha Coffee with condensed milk, with soy milk, with sugar, with sweetener or Kamara Karam Blossom Nectar Cheku Tea Denarb Dran Dralik Dreft Emskill Espresso Exo Coffee.
Yeah, enough. An espresso, please. I just hope it's strong enough.
As strong as Terran health laws allow it to be. Cheers.
Czyli dostaliśmy espresso. A gdybyśmy te roślinne odchody wrzucili do kawy?
Okay, if this doesn't get him back on his feet, then I don't know what will.
Mamy aromatyzowane espresso. Spróbujmy.
Oh man, I'm not feeling very well. Can't you help me?
Mogę ci pomóc. Napij się tej kawy.
Here, now, drink a nice cup of coffee.
What the heck is that? That's not coffee. You want to poison me?
No, I wanted to wake you up, and it looks like it worked.
Okay then. Thanks for waking me up. And now, what do you want?
Czego chcę, to chcę się dostać do Instytutu Robotyki.
Okay then. Thanks for waking me up. And now, what do you want? What are you showing me your smart card for? Now I know you're one of Dalian's employees. So? Ah, the great Dean. We have to go and service his flying coffin from time to time. It's not a pleasant task, more like running the gauntlet. A singing crystal? How funny. You can't score points with me with something like that.
No dobra, głowa robota bojowego.
Interesting. I've never seen this build before. It looks extraterrestrial, like a combat android. But tell me, where did you find this thing?
Rhodan sent me to have someone examine it.
So, Rhodan himself, huh? You think I'm a total idiot, don't you? Show me your ID card. Oh ho! One of the Dean's staff members in person. Don't think I'm gonna be overcome with awe. So how's the flying coffin doing?
No idea, haven't seen him today.
Whatever. Then let's take a look at that baby.
No i prawdopodobnie udajemy się do laboratorium.
What in the world have you taken? One could believe that you're experimenting with new warfare agents.
Ah, no. I'll just take an anti-nausea pill and everything will be fine.
Your chip card, please. Well, look here. A visitor from the upper level. And to what do we owe this honor?
He has android material of an unidentifiable origin.
Which I also need to scan. He's clean too. Just traces of disintegration and whatever else he picked up during his accident. No explosives, no bugging devices, no drugs. You may pass.
There we are. You are currently in the most highly protected lab in the Academy. Everything here is highly confidential, but feel free to look around a bit. Robotics 2. My colleague works there. Perhaps you'll meet him somewhere along the way. So, this is the room where the prototypes are examined and the endurance tests are conducted. Durability, stability, positronic computing power, and so on. It's almost completely automated, standard routines.
And what happens here?
Whoa, you can't go in there. I mean, you can't just walk right in like that. That's the fuels and explosives department. The internal one for our own developments. Applied research, so to speak. The guys who work there are freaks, but that lab is really well secured.
Okay, I understand. And how do I get to Mortal from here?
That's the transmitter which will take you directly to Martel's office. The paternoster, we call it. Without his blessing, nobody can go up there or come down. That thing has an acoustic lock that reacts only to Martel's voice.
Okay, so if I understand correctly, the only way to see Mortal is with a personal invitation from him. And where do these gateways lead to?
That's one of the 2 gateways to the main hangars. They're like big storage depots where we assemble large pieces of equipment and get them prepared for the field tests. It's all completely secure and absolutely sterile, and personally supervised by Martel himself. Welcome to my humble quarters. Make yourself at home while I take a look at your little friend here. But please don't take anything with you. And don't touch anything either.
Okay.
Right. Let's see what you want to tell me, little buddy.
No dobra, czyli mogę się teraz tutaj rozejrzeć. Może nie do końca swobodnie, ale na pewno będę mógł przeklikać te elementy. Dobra, poszedłem do informacji, ble ble ble.
A small energy charger. Now don't tell me you colonial Terrans have never seen anything like that before. But seriously, if you need to recharge something, feel free.
Czy jest coś w ekwipunku, co bym chciał naładować? Może to się nada.
Can I recharge this little device here?
Of course. And what is that, remote control? Do you build models?
Well, not exactly. Who would have guessed? Bully Leclerc can finally be operated by remote control.
Listen, I'm not making any progress here. It just doesn't make sense. I'll have to ask my colleague over there. He's an Ara, and has spent a lot of time working on Archon. Perhaps he can shed some light on all this.
Martel's employed an Ara here?
I know what you're thinking. Never trust an Ara. But Narkal is much more of a scientist than a businessman. And if you give an ordinary Ara a piece of an unknown life form, he'll do almost anything for you. That's exactly how it is with Narkal and robot components. I'll just go over to him for a moment. Wait here. And please don't touch anything.
Masz moje słowo, niczego nie będziemy dotykać.
Well, great.
A tak serio, będziemy dotykać wszystko, co tu jest.
A number of devices that mean absolutely nothing to me. A giant super drill. It's more like a weapon than a tool with those lasers. Perhaps that's what Mortal wanted to talk to me about. It seems very strange that I know nothing whatsoever about this project.
Dobra, tutaj mamy tą ładowarkę indukcyjną.
The recharging station. Since the remote control has already been recharged, this is really no help to me now. A number of devices that mean absolutely nothing to me.
Może coś znajdę na tym biurku.
This box seems to be a handy size.
O! Plastikowe pudło trafiło do mojego ekwipunku.
This positronic controls the assembly arms in the experimental lab. If I could reprogram them, I might be able to distract both assistants and have a look around here without being disturbed. If I put this box in here, that'll give me the right height, and even a flat surface to scan things on.
O! Zaraz. Czy ja czegoś podobnego już nie widziałem? Może teraz będę mógł przeskanować ten nieznany artefakt.
Perhaps scanning the Supram will give me some useful information. It looks as if the laser has already been able to decipher something.
What's going on here?
The information matrix has been changed.
What kind of code is that?
No idea. Looks like ancient arcanine.
Wywołaliśmy alarm. Nie, w sumie to nie wiem czy my, ale...
What did the assistant say? The experimental lab? It looks more like an assembly hangar for robots.
Hands off! Those are the controls for the experimental lab. What? Look, can't you see? I've got other problems to deal with.
No dobra, w takim razie nie będziemy im przeszkadzać. Może będę mógł gdzieś tu teraz się udać.
That's the scan of the robot head. If I understand correctly, it looks as though parts of its technology were produced here. Perhaps even in this lab. Another fascinating look into human engineering skills. The robot head is fixed in this laser field. I can't just reach in there with my hand, and I'd have no idea how to get it out of there. But I'm sure that nice Mr. Huber will give it back to me later.
No, miejmy taką nadzieję.
Now, what do I need a big thing like that for? I'll just leave it there.
Może coś będę mógł na tym użyć.
Not really compatible. And while we're trying things out, why don't I drill a hole in my knee and pour milk into it?
Ogólnie, czy coś się tutaj zmieniło? Raczej nie.
Ah, it looks like they both thought this was some kind of known robot build. Interesting. A list of all the robot builds known to exist in the Milky Way. I'll just download a copy of that for myself.
Lista typów robotów. Aktualna lista wszystkich znanych typów ziemskich, pozaziemskich androidów i robotów. Proszę wprowadzić numer modelu szukanego robota. O kurde. Ja nie znam na tą chwilę żadnego numeru.
Now, what do I need a big thing like that for? I'll just leave it there. A number of devices that mean absolutely nothing to me.
Chyba nic więcej już tutaj nie znajdę.
Now, what do I need a big thing like that for? I'll just leave it there. A chip card. Perhaps it's the Ira's. Now that's what I call a lucky coincidence. If I could just transfer his access data onto my ID card, I'd have full access to the labs. But who could I ask to do that?
Ja wiem, kogo byśmy mogli o to wypytać.
So here you are. What are you doing in my lab?
I didn't want to disturb you, so...
Could you please get this noisy nuisance out of here, fast? I want to get on with my work.
Listen, pal, I'm fed up with you. Rhodan's emissary or not, if you think you can pull a stunt in my laboratory, you're wrong. Good day to you.
Well, great. That lab assistant actually kicked me out. I was so close, and now I have to come up with some new way to get to Mortal.
No dobra, ale mamy identyfikator osobisty. Mamy listę typów robotów. Zejdźmy na dół do tego transmitera i zeskanujmy te elementy. Akademia Waringera. System akredytacji. Akredytacja dla pracownika gości. Zawiera dane biometryczne i osobiste. Okej. Robotopedia. Tajna monitorowana lista wszystkich znanych typów ziemskich i pozaziemskich androidów i robotów. Korzysta z niej głównie wojsko i naukowcy. No i teraz my.
Hello, Laszlo. How may I help you this time? You don't need to show me your chip card. For one thing, the bioscan shows me who you are, and for another, I've got a very good memory for faces.
I'm not sure that those aren't secret files from Martel's research department. I'd better keep them to myself for now.
No właśnie, chyba powinniśmy to zachować dla siebie. Identyfikator osobisty.
If it doesn't fit, it doesn't fit.
Dobra. Plan jest taki, żeby... Poczekajcie. Niestety łatwiej jest zostać wykopanym z Instytutu Robotyki, niż się tam dostać. Sęk w tym, że prowadzone badania nad jakimś tajnym projektem, a konkretnie wielkim wiertłem Ara, który pracuje dla Martera, wydaje się podejrzany. Może zdołam znaleźć sposób na przesłanie danych z jego karty, aby uzyskać odpowiednie uprawnienia. Może udamy się po prostu do Kari. Może to ona będzie mogła skopiować dla nas dane.
Hello, Perry. You're finally here. Dalian's expecting you.
O.
Laszlo who?
Daikunu or Daikonu or something.
Should that name ring a bell?
I don't know, but he recognized the robot as being our technology.
Most unfortunate.
And he had something scanned here that certainly appeared to be made of Supran.
Supran?
Yes, but unfortunately our scanners are still too inaccurate to be able to penetrate the material properly.
How does a nobody like this Daikonu get his hands on Supran and the robot head?
He says Perry'ego Rhodana sent him.
So it's Rhodan. He mustn't get in our way now, not when we're this close to our goal. We now know where the key is.
The key? Finally. How do you know?
Ms. Diamond back there was finally kind enough to cooperate. I've already sent Takio to get the key. Once we've got it, we can finally get going. You should get out of here. I'll need you for the preparations.
But what about Rhodan?
Where is he now?
Nobody knows. He seems to have disappeared without a trace.
Then we'll make sure it stays that way. Rhodan must disappear. Forever.
And the robot head?
That too.
The core of the Academy, Dalian's high-powered computer, Cicero. All the information available in the Milky Way is collated here.
Well, well, well. The Regent himself. What a rare surprise.
Hello, Malcolm. I'm sorry for having to bother you, but it's...
Very urgent, I know. Mondre's gone, and now you come here disguised as Laszlo whoever, just to make things difficult for me. Unfortunately, I cannot grant you asylum, Immortal. My coffin is only big enough for my brain.
I thought your new role would take your mind off your constant self-pity.
Redirect my thoughts, you mean, because they're drowning me in work. So make it short. Since you've been here at the Academy, I've also been dealing with an obnoxious hacker who's been trying to get his hands on your data.
Malcolm, can you please give my disguise identity more permissions? I'm trying to make my way through the Academy with a visitor's permit.
Your disguise identity, Laszlo Daikonu, wasn't really intended to enable you to play detective here at my academy.
Man, Malcolm, is it possible for you to do me a favor without giving me some kind of cynical comment?
Go to Kari. She can turn you into a member of my staff. That should help you.
She's already done that without your authorization. But I've got to get access to the Robotics Institute.
Sorry, Mr. Almighty, but your buddy Martel is responsible for that.
Malcolm, you're so annoying. Dalian's a hyperphysicist. What'll he be able to tell me about a list of all known robot types?
Dobra, co mamy dalej? Śpiewokryształ.
I really don't know why I should bother Malcolm with this kind of nonsense.
I have a very competent team to run the academy for me. After all, there are more urgent scientific problems than the organization of this flea circus.
Wolę się wypytać na wszystkie tematy, tak czy siak.
Among other things, I found these blueprints in Bully's positronics. It looks like he had Amo Martel under observation.
Why not? He is, after all, responsible for observation tasks.
But Amo's a member of the military council. He's completely upright.
With all due respect to your knowledge of human nature, Perry, Martel is a careerist of the worst kind. I don't trust him. I never have trusted him, and as far as I'm concerned, that's that.
Do you know anything about him that might help me?
No, darn it! Martel can kiss mine, and that's it.
Malcolm isn't interested in model construction.
A pair of thermoscan glasses, like the ones the bionics or microtechnicians use. I'm impressed that you have something like that with you. You always find a way to amaze me.
A widzisz, a my mamy.
Mondrze was keeping notes in this book while she was researching the Elohim.
You mean her so-called exhibition on Titan? That's nothing but speculations, dreams and ignorance formatted for mass consumption. And as you know, I'm not very fond of hypotheses and speculative science.
But imagination is more valuable than knowledge, as knowledge is always limited.
Einstein. And then it took 200 years of tough scientific investigation to refute his little fantasies, including Hawkins, Green, Perronin, and all the other dreamers.
And what about your dreams? The Cantor Sextant
was a scientific goal designed by an ingenious mind and realized by me. I'm no dreamer, Perry, you should know that. I knew a dreamer once. Back then he called himself Quintessence. We had a good time together, surfed the entire galactic net together. But he was obsessed by this idea. He called it research, and I called it nonsense.
What exactly was he involved in?
In a myth. In Mondre's myth of the Elohim, to be precise. But a myth is something you can't perceive. You can describe it, get close to it, investigate it, but if you get too involved in it, you'll lose your mind.
Kwintesencja.
Tell me more about this Quintessence.
Quintessence was just one of his many pseudonyms. He was, and may still be, the greatest hacker on the intergalactic net. There's not much to tell you about him. A misspent youth, games, everything I don't have the time or patience for anymore.
By the way, here's the lens I wanted you to take a look at.
At last! I was beginning to think you were never going to give it to me. Sopran is the litmus test, so to speak, for Cantor 2. There's almost no other hyper-energetic material with such a low mass expansion.
How is Supran extracted, anyway?
If you ask me, whoever discovers that secret will soon rule the entire universe. They say Supran is materialized antimatter from the depths of a black hole, but there shouldn't be any matter there in the first place. Amazing, the first results from the frequency scanner. I don't believe it.
What?
Supran is an alloy of matter and antimatter. Someone actually created this. But that's completely impossible. That just can't be. I'll do a frequency analysis immediately.
What's wrong?
This lens it has a function. It radiates certain hyper-high frequency impulses which can be read. It's a highly complex code in a giant matrix, a kind of universal algorithm.
A key?
Yes. If the lock had as many teeth and contacts as the entire Terran Ocean has life forms.
What do you mean?
Listen, I can break down this code and read it element by element. I mean, just one of these elements is ridiculously small, like a grain of sand in the Gobi Desert. But look at this. If I didn't know any better, I'd say that whoever was in possession of this lens before us could easily communicate with every inhabitant of the entire cosmic ocean. And I mean with each of them at the same time. Here's the lens.
Have you finished with it already?
I'm not, but Cantor 2 and Cicero are. I've got the data, and I've transferred it all onto your wristband positronic. In order to analyze it, I'd have to be at least as immortal as you are. No!
What?
Quint's trying. That hacker's trying to get his hands on the data from the lens. It's as if he was just waiting for it. Oh, no, you don't, buddy. Not with me.
Spektroskopia częstotliwości.
These frequency spectrographers contain all the data we've been able to gain from the Supron lens using the very latest technology.
What use is that to me?
Well, I've already asked myself the same question, but knowing you, you'll find a way to misuse it for something.
No, coś będziemy musieli wykombinować, no dobra.
Swoonish minuscules. Apart from you, I think Ulan Soso is the only one who's interested in that kind of thing. And he's been indisposed since the residence, his life's work, was attacked again.
A remote control. That's exactly what I wanted to talk to Malcolm about. Tell me, what do you know about Amo Mortal?
What do I know about Imo? Absolutely nothing. And I still don't think much of him. But you weren't interested in my opinion of Martel when you appointed him director of the Robotics Institute.
Yes, I should have listened to you. He wanted to speak to me about some kind of new technology, and now I can't reach him anywhere.
You know what, Perry? Go whine somewhere else.
Okej. Tak naprawdę porozmawialiśmy na wszystkie tematy. Niestety łatwiej zostać wykopanym. Okej, to już sobie czytaliśmy, to sobie czytaliśmy. No dobra, dzięki, miło było, ale muszę już lecieć.
By the way, these are the results of the Supron lens scan. I thought you might be interested.
Thank you, Perry. I assume Dalian stored the data anyway. I hope it's been helpful to you.
It hasn't really, to be honest, but it did blow Malcolm's mind.
Co mamy tutaj dalej?
Listen, here's my tourist card with my bionic identification. And this is the card from Martel's lab assistant with the encrypted code.
And now you need someone who can use these two cards to make a suitable card for you.
Exactly.
Perry, that's a criminal offense, even for the regions of Terra.
Kari, we're talking about Mondrze. If I can gain access to Martel, I might be able to find out who's behind all this.
Okay. There actually are a few cryptologists out there who might be able to help you. They're experts in codes and decryption. You'll find them everywhere.
And how will I recognize these subjects?
Most of them are Getazer Blues working here as guests. The best thing to do would be to tell them you're planning to assassinate the regent. I'm sure they'll be more than happy to help you then.
How charming. That's a cheery prospect.
Well, buying them something to eat will probably...
What?
The police are still trying to find out where our beloved regent Rhodan disappeared to after the attack on the solar residence. The actual target of the attack is still being investigated. Residence spokespersons announced, however, that they are searching for a colonial Terran named Laszlo Daikanu in connection with the regent's disappearance. It is not known whether he is being sought in connection with the abduction or the attack itself.
Okay, so why are you trying to confuse me?
Kari, the less you know, the safer it is for you. Trust me.
Well, fine. But isn't it about time for you to drop the disguise?
Quite the opposite. Things are beginning to get exciting.
Trochę sytuacja się pokomplikowała. Jesteśmy poszukiwani. Muszę znaleźć kryptologa, żeby przenieść dane dostępu z karty tego Ary do mojej. Kari powiedziała, że gatasencjańscy niebiescy są ekspertami w łamaniu kodów. Jeśli to prawda, wystarczy, że kupię im kilka drinków, a na pewno mi pomogą. Więc obstawiam, że znajdę ich na stołówce. Słuchajcie, moi drodzy, w tym miejscu kończymy ten odcineczek, taki troszeczkę krótszy, ale jest przed meczem, wiadomo, muszę zmontować odcinek, a potem wielkie kibicowanie przed telewizorem. Dzięki wielkie, trzymajcie się i do usłyszenia. Hej!